I'm lucky. I live in a beautiful part of the world with so many different fishing opportunities. From piers to rivers and estuaries, there's so many habitats which hold different species of fish. So, over the next 24 hours, I'm going to attempt to catch as many as I possibly can. Wow, beautiful morning at the moment. We've got zero wind and we've arrived at our first spot. So obviously we're at a pier. We have plenty of opportunities to catch a lot of species, and we've got a lot of kit with us as well. We've got lures, squid jigs, bait. We've got absolutely everything. So we'll quickly just get set up and have a look. We're just going to be observant. So these gates are shut, which is a little bit of a shame because I wanted to fish along there, but look at this. We have some dark patches on the pier, which means squid. Squid ink is in abundance at the moment, so I think what we might do is try here for some squid. We've got the start of the run-in tide, the incoming tide, which is a really good time to try for some squid. So I think that's going to be our plan first of all. Here we are at our first spot. This pier is honestly a lot of nostalgia for me. This is where I started squid fishing and honestly started fishing in general. So we've got one medium set up at the moment, and that has a really big soft plastic on it at the moment. But I'm going to change that over to a squid jig because I think we have a really good shot at the moment of catching a squid. So we've got our little tackle box here. Open that bad boy up and we'll select out our first lure. So I know from previous experience fishing this pier that white do exceptionally well. So I think we're going to use this little white one to start off with. We'll quickly just tie that on and get fishing because it's a really good time. It's going to be a full-on challenge, which could go for up to 24 hours. We started this morning, could end tomorrow morning, and hopefully we have a lot of species by the end of it. Okay, there's a lot of seaweed around, but you can see that the water's pretty clear, which is a good sign for squid. We like clear water. Just going to cast that jig right there. Don't need to go too far. See if there's any sitting around. Nothing on the first cast. Get the second one out a little bit deeper. So in an ideal world, we'll tick the squid off very quickly, and then we can just move on to some other species which are around this pier. I want to speed run as many species as possible. Oh, there's one. Big squid. Oh, I got off. That's a big squid. Oh, there he is. He's still sitting down there. Look at that. Let's see if we can get him. We've got a big squid stalking the jig. Never goes to plan. That would have been absolutely perfect. Only been squid fishing for 5 minutes. We just had one on. Hopefully he comes back. Oh, there he is. Wow, there he is. Just seen him. He's just sitting there. Go. He's going for it. We got him. We got him. Good squid. He's only just on. Yes. We've got one on, but he's not on convincingly at all. We got to play him really light. Whenever they're on like this, you have to really ease him in. Can't rush him. That's the least convincing hookup you can have on a squid. Okay. Yes, we've got him. That is our first species ticked off. Really good squid. Try to lift him up. He's probably going to fall off. Yep, look at that. As soon as you rush them, they fall off. Yes. Ah, there he is. We got our prize. He had 2 goes of that jig and we finally got him. That's a ripper of a squid too. Look at that. That's what we're after. Beautiful calamari. I really wanted to get a squid today because he's going to serve 2 purposes. He is also going to be our bait for later on. So that is really good that we ticked him off. Let's get a look at him. First species of the day already ticked off. Only squid fished for about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, and bang. We already got the first one. That turned out a lot better than what I thought it would. And we can move on to the second species of the day already. Only been fishing for 15 minutes and then we caught that squid. The exceptional start. so that went perfectly to plan. But now we've got on a really fine gauge hook, a very small sinker. And what we actually did was cut a little tentacle off that squid, and we're going to be using that as some bait. So we're just going to thread a little bit of squid tentacle onto this hook, and we're going to see what we can catch. We have some really weedy bottom around here, some sand patches, so we could catch a whole variety of species. I actually wanted to go over there and fish underneath the pier, but the gates are shut, so hopefully they open the gates up soon, or we might have to try a little bit of a different spot. But there are some different species which live underneath the pier, which we can also target as well. But for now, we'll just start off on this little sand and weed patches. Just going to cast it along this little drop off here. There's a little sand ledge, and let's see if we can catch any species around here. Gonna have to move around a little bit. This is a lot more difficult to get some bites than what I was expecting, so not a good sign. Ooh. That was a bite. We got something. Oh, that's not a bad fish. We've got a fish. Salmon. Oh, nice. An Australian salmon. And he might actually be some bait for later on as well. Species number 2 is an Australian salmon. These things are very, very common in these waters, but I wasn't really expecting him. So we're going to quickly give him a measurement, because if he's a legal size, then what we're going to do is use him for bait later on with that squid. 21 for a salmon. He's easy. He was legal size, so that is species number 2 and bait number 2 for this evening. Getting a little bit of a collection going. See if we can tick off some more species. Get that back over to the same spot. It was a little bit quieter in that shallow stuff, but as soon as we moved out here, we got a bite instantly. So could be a few fish around. There we go, that's a good fish. Another one, another salmon. Fortunately, that's not a different species, but it's another Australian salmon. Come on, give us a different species. Oh, I see a toady down there. We could try and catch him. It's another species. Let's try here. Some really nice sand patches, weed beds. Oh, there we go, straight away. Got one. Straight away we got one. It's a wrasse. That is yet another species. That's kind of the ones we were after right there. We were looking for a wrasse, and we got one. There's a little wrasse. These are like the grass dwelling species, and they really love it around the pier and the pylons. So it's a little bit unusual to get him away from the pier like that, but he was underneath the floating pontoon. So that is species number 3 ticked off, and we still have so much fishing ahead of us. So really good start to the morning. All right, little buddy, off you go. He was right down there, exactly where we thought he might be, on that sand patch. Look at all those fish down there. What are they? There's like 1,000 little fish down there. They're tiny. Oh, we got one. Yes, it's a little trevally. Yes, I could see about 1,000 of them down there, and we just got tiny little trevally. That is species number 4, and there's about 4 or 5 other species down there as well. I can see toadies, I can see grass whiting. There are so many little species down there, but that is perfect. Ooh, that is probably the smallest trevally you'll ever see, but it counts as a species. That's number, 3? No, 4. Number 4. Little silver trevally. See ya, buddy. Oh yeah, there's some other fish down there as well. You can see some grass whiting. Oh, that's a King George. There are whiting down there too. I think we'll try catch one more fish here and then we'll get going, because it's been a long time with no bites. I can see a lot of fish down there, they're just not eating anything, so they're not feeding. Oh, we got something. As soon as I said that. But the majority of the time, these fish just aren't feeding. It's another wrasse. Only a little one. Another one. Little flatty. Yes, it's another species. Tiny, weeny little baby flathead. So this is species number 5. Oh, sorry buddy. Off he goes. Toady, number 6. I knew it was only a matter of time before we ticked this one off. They're quite a nuisance at times. They always take your baits, but they have a place in the ocean. So if you do catch them, throw them back like that. These King George whiting keep going on this little sandbank and I can't catch them. It's driving me nuts. Come on, whiting. I can see us. That's a big one there. Right in front of him. It's on the money. Got him. Yes. Oh, got him. Oh, we sight casted him and plucked him out. That is a really nice King George whiting. I was actually watching him eat the bait. He swallowed the bait, I set the hook and we got him. Oh, that was so cool. I really got pumped with that because I've been looking at these things for about a solid hour. Haven't been able to catch any of them, but we just sight casted him and teased him up. That's a beautiful King George. I think we're gonna be done here. We've caught 7 species total, some awesome ones as well. Trevally, whiting, salmon, squid. That went really well. We've already got 7 and it's only like 9 o'clock in the morning. We've got the whole day ahead of us to tick off some more. After a lengthy drive, we made it to our second destination. This time in a mangrove maze where we had estuary species in mind. So earlier on I said that we're going to be going out fishing tonight. We're going to go out in the estuary and then go out later tonight. But the wind's actually going to get up this afternoon. So what we're going to do is fish a few hours here, go home, have a little nap, and then go out at about midnight. The wind's going to back off at midnight and it should be absolutely perfect out there. So we're going to be floating around in the middle of Western Port Bay on the kayak at night. Hopefully it'll pay off and we'll be able to get a few more species, but for now, let's get into a little bit of lure fishing and estuary fishing. Man, I can't believe how dirty this water is. It's like filthy brown, but we're going to be using this little lure right here. Might be a bit tough to fish. Just looking at the conditions, we've got dirty water, seaweed. Doesn't really look like it's going to be good, but you can always be surprised. Definitely give it a few hours. Might fish here for 3-4 hours and then we'll get home and get some sleep, but let's see. Oh, we got one. Whoa, we got a fish. First cast. Wow, we just got a fish first cast. Oh, got off. Jesus, almost got a lure in the head then. That was almost horrible. How was that? First cast, we've got mountains of seaweed, but we just had a fish. That was unexpected. We just had a fish right away. It's starting to seem like we could have blown our one shot on the estuary species, and it was like first cast as well, which is mind-blowing, but we haven't had any more bites, so we might give it 15-20 more minutes and then gonna have to get ready for tomorrow. Oh, here we go. We got something. Oh, that's a perch, I think. Oh, it's an estuary perch, I think. And man, I'm stoked to see this guy. We've been out here for about 2.5 hours trying to catch this thing, and finally we've got one. How cool are these little fish? Let's let him go. See you, mate. Off he goes. Well, that is going to conclude our little estuary bash. We ended up with a few estuary perch, but unfortunately no other species. So what I'm doing now, heading back to shore, and then we've got some massive preparation to do. We're going out early in the morning or late at night, I'm not too sure yet, but either way we've got to prepare. We've got to swap all these rods over, get all the gear ready, and I'm actually pretty excited because I feel like it's going to be a good night. This is where it gets interesting. It is currently 3:30 in the morning at the moment, and we are heading out super early to complete this multi-species challenge. I'm really glad I didn't go out yesterday evening because the wind did get up. It was really windy, but this morning looks absolutely pristine. So we're going to quickly duck out. We might actually have a look in the shallows with our net for a couple of species, and then we've got our big rods here. We're all set up to target some giant fish. Already seeing some little garfish, which is yet another species we can get. Man, we've got some of the most pristine conditions at the moment, so it's really exciting that we're getting out here early. We're gonna have a really nice day. We might actually fish a little bit longer than the 24-hour period, just because we haven't fished for the 24 hours. So we had a little break yesterday afternoon, so we might do a little carry on into today and just do one massive session this morning and see what we can catch. It's gonna be fun. We've got our baits from yesterday. We've got salmon, What else have we got? Whiting, squid. We've got some pristine baits, which we caught ourselves and which we caught at the start of the challenge. So I think it's pretty fitting to go out there and use them as bait this morning. Man, there's a few species in these shallows, but I'm not going to net any of these big stuff. There's some big banjo sharks, some big stingrays. So much life in only 2 foot of water. Boy, we found some really big fish down there. If they eat, we're going to get some species on the board for sure. Let's get some baits out. Fresh salmon, fresh squid. That little sinker on. Let's get our first big bait out, and it is going to be the whiting head. So we've just cut that whiting head apart from the body, and that right there is going to be a beautiful big fish bait. We're just going to chuck that out right behind the kayak. Second bait, squid ring. So a little bit of that fresh squid which we caught yesterday as well. We've got whiting head, squid ring. Maybe we'll put a little bit of salmon on the last one. The last bait was actually another bit of squid. We'll get a little bit of salmon out in a minute, but for now we've got 2 squid baits and a whiting bait. So we've got a really nice spread, and let's see if we can tick off a few more species. First light is just peeking up now. Made a really big pedal out to the spot I wanted to fish, and we're here at a really good time, so let's see what happens. Letters. We have a fish on here. Just mouthing the bait. We got him. Yes, that's a little snapper, I think. Yes, it is. I think we got a little snapper on. Oh, not a bad little fish. We've only been out here for 15, 20 minutes, and I just saw this rod bouncing in the holder, saw him mouthing the bait, so I actually struck into him, and I knew he was there, so this is going to be our 9th species if we can get him in. It's definitely a little snapper, definitely. Don't think he's going to be one of those monsters which are around this time of year, but he's going to be a really solid little fish. Got him. That is the first snapper of the morning. It is snapper season at the moment, so there are a few of these fish around, and I'm glad we got one because they've been a little bit tough. Tell you what, he's not bad at all. That is not a bad snapper by any stretch of the imagination. He'll be a couple of kilo fish. Beautiful. That is the 9th species I think that we've caught in this multi-species fiasco which we've been doing for the past almost 24 hours. So we're going to release this guy yet again. Spear him straight over. Oh, he did it himself pretty much. Another squid ring. Get that bad boy out. That moon looks incredible. The sun's about to rise, moon's about to set, tide change coming up in about 2 hours, so really good time for fish in theory. Ooh. Eagle ray. We got an eagle ray. There he is. Little eagle ray. It is a fish and it is a different species. It is an eagle ray. These things do acrobatics all the time, and I'm a little bit nervous because he's right underneath the kayak. We're not getting those hooks out. There we go, species number 10. That is an eagle ray. I'm not going to pick this guy up. Man, these things are gnarly. They've got barbs, they like to jump. They're pretty much kayak fisherman's worst nightmare, so we're just going to nip him off. I'm not going to even try to handle him because they're just too dangerous. We're just going to nip him off. See you, mate. Hit a fish on here. Swimming at me. There we go. Got something on here as well. Don't think it's very big. This could be a little shark. Oh wow, that's a good gummy. That's a good gummy. Really nice gummy shark. Alright, well, that is the next species off the list. Really good gummy shark. Take a look at him. He's got water all over the lens, but we're going to get him going back straight away. Beautiful fish. Whew, they're nuts. Fresh little salmon cube. Get that bad boy out. Oh, we got another fish on. That little salmon chunk. Oh, it's a banjo. Banjo shark. Another species. This is number 12, I think. Hello, Mr. Banjo. That is species number 12, I'm pretty sure. The old banjo shark. Very, very common bycatch when chasing bigger stuff in Western Port. Very unique looking thingo. Very unique looking. In the double digits, up to a dozen, and we've still got a fair while to fish, so exciting. Oh, what is that? That's another eagle ray. Yeah. Wow. Well, we've hooked up to a monster. Hope it's a different species, but I think it is a monster eagle ray. I was hoping it might be a different type of stingray so we could count that as another species, but I think I'm a little bit doubtful now. Well, that's a bigger one of the thing we caught earlier, and he's waving his barb at me. That's a monster eagle ray, look at that. What a giant. Go away. Oh, you're scary. Tide changes now. I think we might go for a move soon. Oh! What's that? It's got to be a good gummy shark, I'm guessing. He's a good gummy and he's caused a nightmare of a mess. Bang. We got him out of the mess. What a good morning it's been. We've got 2 gummy sharks around this size, maybe one a little bit bigger than this, but we could have had a bag of gummies and a bag of flake if we really wanted, and plus a nice snapper. But we're doing a catch and release mission today. I think we're still up to 12 species. He doesn't add to our count, but he's a grouse fish. See, buddy, he's just left me with the biggest mess. So what I'm actually going to do is go for a move. We're going to be about 4.5 k's off land from where we launched. We have a really nice weather window today, so I want to explore some new areas, some new grounds, and hopefully catch some new fish to add to our tally. So far we're up to 12 species for the day, and I reckon we're going to try and get to 15. I think 15 is going to be our target, and it's going to be pretty challenging, but I think we'll be able to do it. Let's try here, squid ring. Let's get a few baits out. The tide's pretty much turning at the moment, so it's not a good time, but let's see if we can turn a rod. We fished for the next 3 hours with very minimal bites. I just went to wind this in and something's sitting on it. But did pick up another species. Oh, it's a stingray. And not long after that, we hooked up to our final species of the day. The last fish of the day. The final species of the day is coming in right now. It is a skate. I was very confused to what this was, and this is going to be number 14. So that's going to do us. We've caught a lot of stingrays and gummy sharks and one snapper today, but this is going to be the final one. There he goes. Got that hook out of him. You're a lucky bugger. We also got some other hooks out of him too, so that skate just had a lucky day. Got these little 3-0s out of his mouth. We've just returned back to land now. We've packed up the kayak, and that's going to conclude our little 24-hour multi-species challenge. Obviously we didn't go within the 24-hour time frame because last night got windy, but we gave it our all. We fished for about 20 hours and we caught 14 or 15 different species. I can't really remember, but we had a really good day, or really good 2 days. We caught whiting, squid, snapper, pretty much every single iconic species in these waters we caught. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, be sure to leave a like on the video, comment some suggestions down below, and I'll see you in the next one.